Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to talk about The Flash and Supergirl. Yes, I'm going to talk about both of these TV shows because they both came back this week. First, let's talk about The Flash Season 3, Episode 10, entitled Borrowing Problems from the Future. The beginning of the episode, we see Barry is having nightmares, dreams about what we saw in the mid-season finale of him going to the future and seeing Megatron, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, who looks like Megatron, killing Iris. He's been holding on to this secret. He hasn't told Iris. He hasn't told anybody. And so he's really having issues with it. He wakes up and Iris kind of knows that something's up, but he won't tell her. HR is wanting to open Star Labs as a museum, basically to make money and to do something with Star Labs. And I like this idea. In fact, I think it's a good idea. I don't know why everybody was being so pissy with him over this, especially Cisco. Cisco, like, he was being a dick to HR. Just for no good reason, making it seem like he's useless and every idea he has is bad. It's like, no, this idea with the museum is actually smart and actually makes sense. So stop being a dick to him. Honestly, the hologram was more likable than the real Cisco. Caitlin is afraid of her powers, her bracelet handcuff things. It's weird because if this is suppressing her Killer Frost persona, if this is stopping her powers from manifesting, but all she has to do is recharge them up, but she won't do it. It was a little weird, this whole side plot, but like, I get it. She doesn't want to be evil. She doesn't want to become evil. She's a little desperate about it. And maybe too, she just doesn't want to wear stupid looking bracelets like that. Now that I don't blame her. She goes to Tom Felton, Julian. She goes to him and she wants help. But not only does she ask him for help, she says, hey, come join the group. What? So wait, Caitlin just offers him a spot on the team without consulting with anyone, without seeing if anyone would have a problem with it. She just offers up Star Labs and the team. And then when they find out about it, nobody's a little weirded out. Nobody's upset. I know Julian, it was against his will. He wasn't under his own mindset. And I get it. And I even somewhat like the character. At least I want to see what they can do with him. But it's like, well, we're just supposed to trust him this fast. Okay, fine. Now, the main villain of the episode was called Plunder. I gotta be honest, this villain was lame as fuck. He was. By name and just the character. There was nothing special about him. He just went around robbing places, jewelry and banks, and it's just like, okay, why isn't this guy on Arrow? He's more of an Arrow villain. I know that he had some futuristic gun that shot off like speed bullets or something. And I'm not saying it was completely bad. Like, I guess that was cool. But again, nothing that I cared about with this character. Barry was having these flashes of some news story about him getting caught. And I honestly was sitting there like, why is Barry tripping? Why is he not, like, he's freaking out? He can't go up against him. It wasn't until much, much later on. I don't know if they thought we would remember that, or maybe most people did remember that flashback that Barry kept having. Maybe I'm the only one who didn't really know what was going on. But once they do spell out that that was the news story that happened when Barry went to the future right before Iris dies, I said, oh, okay, so this does make sense. I just wish I knew about that earlier. Luckily, though, they catch him quick, but then he breaks out, like, the same day he got locked up, he breaks out, and so they have to go back after him. I liked that Barry finally told not only Iris, but told the group about the future, about what he saw, about Iris dying, because now we can deal with it. Now it's something to actually move forward with and make the main crux of the season. I like this because, sure, it might have been a little annoying to have Barry not be honest, not come out and say the truth. I get it. He was scared. And him being a dick to Wally, at first you could be like, dude, what the hell? Why are you being a dick? But we all have those moments. We have those moments where we're mad about something else and we take it out on somebody who we know clearly doesn't deserve our anger, but we do it because it temporarily makes you feel good. So I get where Barry was coming from. I did relate to him there. I was glad when he finally told everyone, and when they all were dealing with it. Like, what are we going to do now? Hey, let's have Cisco vibe us to that part in the future. Figure out the surroundings, see the news story, pick out the headlines. Ironic that all the headlines had to do with them specifically almost, but there was some different stuff in there. So I like the fact that now we have these headlines. We have these future events, and we're going to change them, or at least we're going to try to change them. One of them was Caitlin becoming Killer Frost. Gorilla Grodd is making a return, it sounds like. First was them letting Wally catch this guy. So again, solid episode of The Flash. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now. Next episode, next show, Supergirl. This is season 2, episode 9, and the episode was entitled Supergirl Lives. And I, like a month or so ago, watched The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? It was a documentary basically about what happened to the Superman movie that was supposed to happen. Tim Burton, Kevin Smith wrote a first draft of it. And it's an interesting documentary if you haven't seen it. But the fact that they almost paid tribute to that, paid tribute to Kevin Smith's script for Superman, and named the Supergirl episode that because Kevin Smith directed this episode. So that's very awesome, very cool. At the very beginning of the episode, we see Supergirl easily taking out these robbers, and it's almost nothing for her. She even admits to Alex, like, this is kind of boring, this is routine, I want to do more. The Guardian showed up and helped her out. I still don't love the fact that Jimmy Olsen is a vigilante. Honestly, I think it's stupid. I think it's more stupid just the idea of Jimmy Olsen being a superhero or vigilante. I don't buy it. I don't. I think he looks kind of silly in the costume. The actor, I guess, yeah, if you're going to cast this actor, I still don't love him being Jimmy Olsen because he's not Jimmy Olsen. But if you're going to have him there, I guess the need for him to be physical or to do something, I get it. I just don't see the point of it. I also don't buy him being the head of this newspaper company. I don't know what the hell he does in that chair all day, especially if he's a crime fighter. But Supergirl, she decides to go after this missing girl case. Maybe that's going to help her out. And she even starts to get help from Mon-El. And the two of them quickly find that these people, these missing people, are being taken by aliens. Under the guise of, hey, yeah, you're going to donate blood and do this and that to help people. No, you get kidnapped and thrown into this portal. This portal takes you to this planet that has a red sun. So Supergirl doesn't have her powers. Mon-El doesn't have their powers. They're on this planet. They get held captive by these aliens. It all sounds crazy. It's all being held by Roulette, who she had the underground fight club for metahumans. So I'll be honest, this was a pretty interesting plot. It was. I love the fact that not only was Supergirl a little bored with stopping robbers and whatnot, but she wanted to make a bigger difference. I like that. And I also like the fact that she just went in there, went to this portal. She didn't know where it was going to go. All she knew that's where the missing people was. That's where the missing girl was. So I love that about Melissa Benoist. Kara, I like how her character just is fearless. She doesn't care what happens to her. You see so many points in here where she doesn't have her powers now on this planet. And that's a way to make the character vulnerable. She's so powerful in general that I get it. You have to do that. I love the fact that maybe she physically couldn't do a whole lot to protect these people, but when the aliens came in and they wanted them, she stood in front of them and they said move, and she said no, I'm not moving. 3 or 4 times they kept zapping her with whatever they had and she just wouldn't move. She just kept taking it and taking it. That's a hero. That's how you build Supergirl up as a hero. As cool as it is to see her fly around and use her heat vision and use all of her strength and abilities and powers, it's a lot more admirable to see her physically stand up to these guys, physically take all that abuse, not back down, and want to save humans. So I love that. We also see the missing girl, and it's Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith. Yes, he named his daughter Harley Quinn, and I ranted and raved about his Yoga Hosers movie with his daughter in it. But the daughter was fine here. She was. In fact, she was pretty good. So that was cool. And I love just how it all built up to even Win, who had a side plot because he got punched out by one of the robbers. And he was a little afraid. Maybe a little too afraid. Kind of a wuss about the whole thing. Hell, I'd probably be just as afraid too. So who am I kidding? But I did like his redemption of beating up the alien and thinking he was a badass. Although Alex and Win going on to space on this planet, and they were breathing the air. Maybe I missed it. There might have been a line where they said that the air is breathable for humans. I guess they did take human slaves. It kind of looks silly to me to see them just on the planet, like with nothing that they needed to breathe with. I'm overthinking it, maybe, sure. But one thing I want to talk about here: the relationship between Alex and Maggie. I like Alex. I do. I like her a lot. Her being gay, I think, is one of the best things that the show could have done. Because sure, you could have made some minor, like small character lesbian or gay. You could have done that because most shows probably would have done that. But to make a main character, one of your top main characters, somebody that's this close to Kara, her sister, somebody that's in every single episode, to make her gay, to make her go through an actual relationship like this, I think is bold. It's awesome. It's what more TV shows need to do, especially even superhero stuff. It's great. And I even liked seeing her and Maggie together and her being happy. It's almost one of the first times you saw Alex this happy in general. So I like that. Until you get to the moment where, okay, her sister, she doesn't know what happened to her. She's on a planet, no power. She's freaking out, and that makes sense. But the moment when Maggie comes up to her, and she's like, hey, what's wrong? And Alex is just like, this was a mistake. Leave. Get out of here. I can't deal with you right now. It's like, what? That was so completely out of left field. So overdramatic, so forced, just to create this drama between them. Like, why can't we just have a couple together on a TV show like this that don't argue? Or at least, look, I get it. Couples argue, relationships, you argue. I get it, but the way how you do it, let's make it more natural. Let's make it a situation where you actually understand where people are coming from. This blow up was just childish and immature. Later on, Maggie says, I don't think you're ready for a relationship. I agree with Maggie. I don't think she is. If she's going to blow up like that, it's like, what the fuck? So these writers need to calm down and really understand how to make a relationship with characters on a show work, be interesting, be relatable. You can have drama, but don't force it. Don't make it to the point where characters aren't acting like themselves or they're not acting like real people. So that's really my only complaint, is that moment between them. Hopefully going forward we don't get shit like that, especially because Maggie now knows that Kara is Supergirl. Other than that, though, pretty good episode. I liked a lot of stuff going on, especially with Kara being a hero, and I did like it. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of these two episodes? The Flash, Supergirl, which one did you like better? Which one did you not really care for, if that's the case? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!